One of the most acclaimed quotes of St. Francis de Sales is, "Bloom where you are planted." This quote is not a simple saying of St. Francis de Sales. It is a phrase which designed his very life. Let us see how he has lived it with few examples. One of the most acclaimed quotes of St. Francis de Sales is, "Bloom where you are planted." This quote is not a simple saying of St. Francis de Sales, but it is a phrase which designed his very life. Let us see how he has lived it with few examples. The crisis of predestination. One of the prominent teachings of the theory of predestination is that the human salvation is pre-planned and predestined by God, and the human beings can do nothing to attain it. This false teaching denied human freedom and affected St. Francis de Sales so much as he was in dilemma and fear whether he will be destined to hell, as he wanted to be in union with God and remain in his love. His thirst for God expressed his desire to be rooted deeply in the love of God and love God more than anything and anybody, as each one of us come from God and for God. The mission of Chablais. If there was no mission in Chablais for St. Francis de Sales, he would have been lived and died as a normal priest, unknown to the world. It is his mission to Chablais made him well known far and wide as a good shepherd who was ready to lay down his life for his sheep. What made him to be successful in his mission? It is the motive to bloom where one is planted. He went to Chablais and he knew that it was the ground he was planted and he had to bloom there. And thus, amidst all the threats, rejections, failures, and physical ailments, he remained, pursued, and preached the Catholicism, God and his salvation, and became the apostle of Chablais. He bloomed in the ground where he was planted because he was rooted in the love of God. As the Bishop of Geneva, we know that he was appointed as the Bishop of Geneva in 1602, but he never lived in Geneva due to the political situations of the time, and he remained in Annecy in France. He was a bishop in Annecy, and now he is the patron of the Diocese of Annecy. And this year we celebrate the 400th year of the death of St. Francis de Sales, and the Diocese of Annecy celebrates the 200th year of its birth. This is the clear indication that where he was planted as a bishop, he bloomed as a bishop and still continued to produce the fruits in Annecy and in all over the world by his teachings, by his writing, by his exemplary life, and by his spiritual presence. And now it is very clear to us what it means to bloom where you are planted. To bloom where we are planted, we are to be deeply rooted in God and do everything for the love of God. We need to stand firm in the social or religious status and positions in life, either small or big, lesser or greater, amidst all the challenges, rejections, humiliations, and injustice. We are not here to do greater things, but to do things for the greater glory and love of God. It is possible only when we are fully rooted in God, accept the given mandate, and remain planted where we are planted, whatever might be the reasons. May St. Francis de Sales be our model and the source of inspiration to bloom where we are planted and produce the fruits by being rooted in the love of God. Live Jesus.